Somewhere in your house right now, in a drawer, a jewelry box, a shoe box at the back of a closet, there may be an old ring that is worth more than your car, and you would never know it by looking at it. Because the rings that are secretly worth a fortune do not look expensive. They look old. They look plain. They look like something you would leave behind at an estate sale for $5. That is exactly why they are so valuable, and exactly why so many people give them away without ever finding out what they had. Today, I am showing you 11 old rings that could be secretly worth a fortune, how to recognize each one, what makes it valuable, and what it could actually be worth if you own it. Number 1 on this list has sold at auction for more than most people make in a year, and it is the kind of ring that gets mistaken for costume jewelry every single day. Before you go anywhere near a pawn shop or an estate sale, watch this, because after today, you will never look at an old ring the same way again. Number 11, the old European cut diamond ring. Before 1930, diamonds were not cut the way they are today. There were no lasers, no computers, no perfect symmetry. Every diamond was cut by hand, by eye, to catch candlelight instead of electric light. The result is called an old European cut, and it looks different from a modern diamond, rounder, softer, with a small flat facet on the very top, called a cullet, that you can see if you look straight down into the stone. Here is why this matters. Collectors now pay a premium for old European cut diamonds, often more than a modern diamond of the same size, because they cannot be made anymore. Every single one is over 90 years old. If you have an old ring with a diamond that looks slightly chunky, slightly handmade, with that tiny flat spot in the center, do not assume it is a cheap old stone. It may be worth more today than the day it was bought. Number 10. The Art Deco ring. Between 1920 and 1935, jewelry went through one of the most collectible design periods in history. Art Deco, sharp geometric lines, bold symmetry, platinum settings with intricate hand-cut detail, often set with diamonds, sapphires, or emeralds in strict architectural patterns. These rings are instantly recognizable once you know the look. Straight lines, step patterns, a machine-age feel, and they are extremely collectible. A genuine Art Deco platinum ring can be worth thousands of dollars, even tens of thousands if it carries the mark of a known maker. The key word is genuine. Real Art Deco pieces are from the period. Reproductions are made to look like them. The difference is in the platinum, the handwork, and the wear. If you have a geometric platinum ring that has been in the family since your great-grandmother, you may be holding a small fortune. Number 9. The Georgian ring. This is where it gets rare. Georgian jewelry was made before 1837, which means the youngest Georgian ring is nearly 200 years old. These were made entirely by hand, before mass production existed. One giveaway is something called foiling, where the back of the stone was closed off and lined with metal foil to reflect light, because these were made for candlelight. Another is high-carat gold, often 18 or 22 carat, and hand-cut stones set in closed backs. Georgian rings are genuinely rare because so few survived, and collectors compete for them. If you have inherited a very old ring where you cannot see through the back of the stone, where the whole setting feels handmade and slightly irregular, do not dismiss it. It could be 2 centuries old and worth a serious amount to the right buyer. Number 8. The Victorian mourning ring. In the 1800s, when someone died, wealthy families commissioned rings to remember them. These often contained a lock of the person's hair, woven under glass, black enamel, jet, or an inscription with a name and a date inside the band. To a modern eye, a mourning ring can look strange, even a little grim, which is exactly why people undervalue them. But they are historical objects, often in high-carat gold, and serious collectors seek them out. If you find an old ring with black enamel, a woven pattern under glass, or a name and date engraved inside, you are not holding something worthless. You are holding a piece of the 1800s that someone, somewhere, wants to own. If you are already thinking about a ring you have seen in your family, subscribe, because the next few are the ones people most often give away by mistake. And number 1 could change your entire year. Number 7. The signed designer ring. This is the single most overlooked source of hidden value in old jewelry. A ring from Tiffany, Cartier, Van Cleef & Arpels, Bulgari, or Boucheron is worth dramatically more than an identical unsigned ring, purely because of the name stamped inside it. And here's the problem. That stamp is tiny. It is hidden on the inside of the band, often worn down, and most people never look for it. Take any old ring you own and look closely inside the band, under good light, ideally with a magnifier. You are looking for a maker's signature. A single word can multiply the value of a ring by 5, 10, even 20 times. People sell signed Cartier rings at garage sales for pocket change every year because they never turned the ring over and read the inside. Number 6. The old mine cut diamond ring. Even older than the European cut is the old mine cut, a squarish, cushion-shaped diamond cut by hand from the 1700s and 1800s. It has a high crown, a small, flat culet, and deep, warm sparkle, unlike anything modern. These stones came out of the earliest diamond mines in the world, and each one is a genuine antique. Because they are so old and so scarce, old mine-cut diamonds are highly prized by collectors and antique dealers. If you own an old ring with a diamond that looks squarish and slightly lumpy rather than perfectly round, that is not a flaw. That is a fingerprint of age, and it can make the stone far more valuable than it looks. Number 5. The natural untreated sapphire or ruby ring. Here is a secret the modern market does not advertise. Almost every colored gemstone sold today has been heat-treated to improve its color. It is so common that untreated stones have become rare, and rarity means value. Old rings, made before heat treatment was widespread, often contain natural untreated sapphires and rubies. A natural untreated sapphire can be worth several times more than a treated one of the same size and color. You cannot tell by eye. It takes a lab report, but the point is this. If you have an old sapphire or ruby ring that has been in the family for generations, do not assume the stone is ordinary. It may predate treatment entirely and be worth a small fortune to a collector who knows what untreated really means. Number 4. The Edwardian platinum ring. Between about 1900 and 1915, jewelers discovered they could work platinum into incredibly fine, lace-like designs. Edwardian rings look delicate, filigree, mill-grain edges, tiny beads of metal, often set with diamonds and pearls. They look almost too fragile to be valuable, which is exactly why people underestimate them. But genuine Edwardian platinum work is highly collectible, because that level of hand craftsmanship is almost impossible to reproduce today. If you have a delicate, lacy white metal ring with fine, detailed work all around it, check whether it is platinum, because Edwardian platinum, done well, is worth far more than it looks. Number 3. The retro ring. Jump forward to the 1940s. During and after the Second World War, jewelry got bold. Big, curved rose gold and yellow gold designs, oversized colored stones, a Hollywood glamour feel. This is called retro, or retro modern. For years, these were unfashionable and cheap, but the market has turned, and collectors now actively hunt retro pieces. A large, dramatic rose gold ring from the 1940s, especially with citrine, aquamarine, or ruby, can carry serious value now. If you inherited a big, bold, slightly over-the-top gold ring that you assumed was too gaudy to be worth anything, the market may have caught up with it while you were not looking. Number 2. The carved jade ring. In much of the world, fine jade is one of the most valuable materials on Earth, and most Western sellers have no idea how to price it. The type that matters is called jadeite, and its value depends on color and translucency. The most prized is a vivid, even green, with a glow that seems to come from inside the stone. Old jade rings, especially those brought back from Asia decades ago, are routinely undervalued in the West and sold for a fraction of what they are worth in a market that understands them. If you own an old carved green ring that you always assumed was just green glass or stone, have it checked. Fine natural jaded has sold for more per carat than diamonds. And number 1, the signed Art Deco ring with a natural stone. This is the combination that creates the highest hidden value of all, and it hides in plain sight constantly. Picture a geometric platinum ring from the 1920s set with a natural untreated sapphire, carrying the tiny stamp of a great house like Cartier inside the band. Each of those factors alone adds value. Together, they multiply. A ring like that, mistaken for old costume jewelry, has sold at auction for the price of a house. And the reason people lose them is always the same. They see an old, dark, dusty ring. They do not look inside the band. They do not know what an untreated stone is. And they sell the whole thing for almost nothing. If you have one genuinely old, geometric, high-quality ring in your family, this is the one to get looked at by a professional before you ever consider letting it go. It may be the single most valuable object you own. So, here is what to do with everything you just learned. Do not sell an old ring to the first buyer who offers you cash, ever. Instead, run through the checklist. 1. Look inside the band, under magnification for a maker's signature. 2. Look at the diamond. Is it perfectly round and modern, or squarish and hand-cut and old? 3. Check whether the white metal is platinum, not silver. 4. Notice the design era, geometric Art Deco, delicate Edwardian, bold retro. 5. If it has a colored stone, ask whether it could be natural and untreated. And 6. The most important, take anything that ticks even one of these boxes to an independent appraiser, not a pawn shop. A pawn shop pays you melt value. An appraiser tells you the truth. The people who lose fortunes on old jewelry are never unlucky. They are just uninformed. They sell the ring before they understand it. Now you understand it. And that knowledge is worth more than any single ring on this list, because it applies to every old piece you will ever hold. Which of these did you recognize from your own family? Tell me in the comments. I read everyone, and I will tell you what to check next. And if this made you want to go dig through that old jewelry box right now, subscribe, because next week I am showing you the old necklaces that are secretly worth a fortune. I will see you in the next one.